Welcome to Small Talk with Kenya and Dawn. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Kenya.
So we are back with part 3 of communication, and hopefully this is going to be the last part that we're doing on communication in our relationship series. So I thought about how we talk to one another in our communication. Okay. So we talked about body language before.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk tonight about how we speak to one another. And this is something that I remember we had this in our couples ministry about how not just the approach, but then how you are speaking to one another in that conversation.
Yes.
Are you speaking to that person in a loving voice? But firm if you need to be. Are you speaking to them nasty?
Yeah.
How are you coming to that person when you're talking to them?
Yeah.
Because the way that you approach someone, or the way that tone in that conversation can change, can say, hold on.
Absolutely.
And then that communication, the rules in the communication, the boundaries in the communication, the lines can be completely erased, and everything is completely out the window. So how we speak to one another.
Absolutely.
And I think we did this little exercise in the meeting that night, and we said, you know, how was your day today? And I'm just giving this one, and you say it was okay. Or if I got an attitude and I come to my husband, how was your day today?
Did you really want to know?
Did you really want to know? Do you really care how my day was? Or are you just saying it just to say it? Are you coming with a snide remark behind it? Are you being just downright nasty?
Yeah.
You know, and I can tell that you really don't care how my day was.
Absolutely.
Or if I say, hey, can you pick up your shoes and put them away? Or if I say, pick them shoes up and put them away, what are you going to respond to?
How are you going to respond?
How are you going to respond? I mean, it could be anything. Hey, why do you leave that bread on the table?
Right.
Why did you leave this out? You know, you clean it up.
Yeah.
Or am I going to say, hey, could you put this away from me? I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did you mean to leave it out? I'm sure it probably slipped your mind. It's the way that you say things. It's the way that you say them, of how somebody is going to receive those things. You will get better results if you're able to communicate in a nicer manner. And, you know, but if you don't respond in that way, if you communicate in a way that is aggressive,
Absolutely.
you're probably going to get some pushback.
Or, who are you talking to?
No, who you think you talking to?
Right.
Who you think you talking
So
to?
this is we're no longer communicating.
No.
I'm reacting.
I'm reacting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reacting. So that communication, that's immediately in breakdown.
Absolutely. Oh, that's good. Communication breakdown.
Yeah, that is immediately in breakdown, because we're not communicating.
No. Yeah.
We're talking at each other.
Yeah.
That's not effective communication.
Yeah.
No way, shape, or form. How we approach the other person.
It's important.
Also, in your communication, are you uplifting that person? Or are you tearing them down?
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you making them feel? I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about some mean things that you are saying to the person that you are supposed to love, the person that you're supposed to protect, and you're not being very nice to them.
No. Man. And you know what I just thought about? In that, when you said communication breakdown, comparison. When you comparing,
Mm.
or, well, I talked with so and so and she said or he said, and you're thinking that you're doing me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
But when you said lifting up, we have to filter what we're saying,
Mm-hmm.
because it can be an absolute offense
Yes.
to that person.
Yeah.
You know, and communication breakdown in a marriage is something that needs to be identified and rectified immediately.
Immediately.
Because even if we let those things linger on, how is Satan going to slip in there
Mm-hmm.
and cause one small paper cut
Mm-hmm.
to become an open wound?
Mm-hmm.
And I think even with the hard conversations,
Mm-hmm.
I think they are absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in the hard conversations, you have to hear what hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
Not what offends me,
Mm-hmm.
but what hurts me.
Yeah.
So now, here we are. And how are we showing up?
Mm-hmm.
How are we responding? But if you could hear me
Mm-hmm.
and you knew this hurt me,
Yeah.
how is this even part of our conversation anymore?
Okay. So let me tell you what really bothers me
Okay.
is when I see, and I'm gonna pick on us for a little bit and pick on the women for just a minute,
Okay.
is how a woman will talk down to her husband and speak to him, a grown man, like he's a 7-year-old child. That irks me so bad, and especially when you can see it's draining for him.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do that?
Right.
Tell me why you did that. And you are almost scolding him. That is, I'm going to tell you, ladies, in my eyesight, that is very
And men too.
unbecoming.
Men too.
And men too. I don't like to see that. And to question them like they are children
Yes.
at school. Like, I'm going to make you give me this answer.
The right answer you want to hear.
The answer that you want to hear. It may not be my answer that's coming from my heart, but it's an answer that you want to hear. I just have an issue with that. For a man, you have stolen his masculinity.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say this because this is something that I learned about myself and why I absolutely feel it's necessary. But I think because we haven't had the good examples,
Mhm.
we haven't been taught how to be wives, how to be husbands.
Mhm.
That's why it's so important to make sure that you, at least, I won't say always surround yourself with,
Mhm.
but attach yourself to couples
Mhm.
that have healthy relationships.
Yes.
Because, and even in just being around you two, it has taught me so much. And not just even about being a wife, but being a woman in general.
Mhm.
Because what I knew how to do, this was such a weapon for me. Oh my goodness, it was such a weapon for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I didn't realize it until I heard your conversation.
Mm.
I paid attention to your vernacular. And I'm like, oh, I don't say stuff. She said this, but I said it this way. But even in that, you know, it taught me, okay, if you want to be a good wife, if you want to be building your husband up and
Mhm.
uplifting your husband,
Mhm.
I can say the same thing. I
Mhm.
just got to say it differently.
Mhm.
I gotta watch the facial expressions. But ladies, we can't do the neck roll.
No, we can't.
And we
do
can't do the body language and talking with our hand because it puts them on the fence.
Mhm.
Wait a minute, you
Mhm.
because don't touch me.
Mhm.
And that's not even in your mindset.
Mhm.
But even I think sometimes we have to retrain
Yes.
ourselves to speak to our husbands in the way that we know that Christ is paying attention and hearing us too.
Mhm.
Because again, if you don't know, you're only going to do the things that you know how to do. But that does not make them right.
No, it doesn't.
So we have to work extra hard, and not to just say, find you a podcast to no, find you a human being. Find you a couple who's been married for 50 years and they still loving on each other. They still having hard conversations. To ask the questions, how do you handle this? Because if we don't clear out all the things we've been taught, we keep pulling from those things because that's all we have. But it is so important to have an example because marriage is important to Christ.
Yes, it is.
It is important. He even speaks of the church as coming back as his bride. It's important.
Yes.
And it's something that the enemy hates. In every aspect of that relationship, every time we allow him a little piece or a small way in, it's only going to make it another issue in our marriage. So we really have to find, and I'm not saying mimic, but we have to find people who's done this, who's overcome some things, who actually want it to be better in their marriage. And you know, and my daughter, our oldest daughter, she'll be 30 in October, and she casually says things like, "Y'all so stinking cute. Oh, I want to be like y'all." And it makes us go and reflect and say, "Man, you know, we done came a long way." But it's not just for us. Our children, we are representing something we've never been shown. But we figured it out. But you have to want to.
That's right.
You have to take the criticism and the feedback of, you can't do that.
Right.
Even when you're doing this, you're doing it wrong. That criticism may hurt my feelings. But if I love my husband enough, I'm willing to do the work.
It's important to put that work in. You can't move forward. You won't grow together unless you do put that work in. And just like what I was saying earlier about uplifting, encouraging your husband, encourage your wife. A lot of times you don't see that. And when we had the talk before, and if I know that he's done something, that he made the executive decision and said, you know, hey, we're going to do it like this, and if it doesn't turn out right, I'm not going to kick you while you're down and make you feel bad about it. You know what? I'm going to say, well, what do you want to do next?
How do we fix it?
How can we fix it? Because we're in it together.
Absolutely.
That's another part of communication. And communicating the right way, communicating effectively, speaking to one another. It's not about ripping that person apart and making them feel even worse than what they already do. That's not helping.
That's an attack.
It is an attack. And honestly, it's not fair.
Absolutely.
That is so messed up when you think about it, is to take an opportunity where you can actually learn from the mistake and don't beat somebody up about it. It just really grinds my little gears when I hear that type of talk from somebody and goodness, and don't run your spouse down to somebody else.
Oh my.
Now, just because you may have had a disagreement, we disagreed about this, I'm a little irritated today, but don't run them down.
And you know, you say that, and it just...
Because somebody else will be there to pick them up.
Because guess what? It's power in this tongue. It is power in this tongue. And even in this communication, it is so important for us to speak life into our marriage. We have to. And that goes with the uplifting. But not just our communication, but our marriage. I can't even, you know, my husband and I talk all the time about, in my immaturity, I ask for a father for my child. And in God's infinite wisdom, He gave me a husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not have even thought to even ask
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But it is just such a beautiful, y'all, I love and I love marriage. And even, the days you give me a headache, I still can't wait to get some more of that headache.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It is such a beautiful thing to be able to have a conversation.
Yes.
But even I'm going to take it a little bit further. To really chop it up with your BFF.
Mm-hmm.
To laugh and talk. What you were talking earlier, reminiscing.
Yeah.
Just having things to laugh about.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a beautiful thing.
It is, and it just makes you fall in love all over again. And in the bad times,
Ooh.
and you run across some of those things, those old memories, those old letters, those old cards, and you be like, wow, what we're fighting about is
It's nothing.
it's stupid.
It's nothing.
This is what it's really about.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is now for these young women and these men to have love and marriage?
And marriage. It is hard. But you know what? That's why it's so important for us to make sure we're displaying it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world is really trying to make it not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually deterring people
Yes.
from even wanting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard women say, well, I don't want a husband. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand.
You know what? That communication, that will block that man from coming in your life every single time.
Oh.
But a lot of times I think women use it as a mechanism, as a defense.
Absolutely.
And you really don't mean it,
Mm-hmm.
but you've spoken something over your life. And my thing is this, and I say this, is if you say it enough out of your mouth,
You're going to believe it.
not only will you believe it, God will say, okay.
Oh.
He said, all right,
I had one for you.
I had one.
But since you don't want it.
And he looked good.
Oh, my
But now your mouth got you in trouble. Yeah, your communication got you into some trouble. So now you don't get one.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to make you wait a long time.
You trying to make us go into 4. Oh my goodness.
We're not going to 4. Yeah, we probably could go for it. Yeah, yeah. But he will make you, he will either take him away
Oh my goodness.
or he will make you wait a long time. I know this lady, and I think she was 50 when she got married.
Oh wow.
And she had that conversation and said, I don't want to be married. I'll probably never be married.
Oh wow.
And finally her husband came, I'm sorry, she wasn't 50, she was 40. And her husband came into her life. And she literally, when she told the story, she was in tears crying. And she said, I never thought that I would be married. She thought her time had passed. But see, she was saying the wrong things. She wasn't communicating. Her communication with God was incorrect.
Yeah.
But I believe also that she had been hurt so bad
Yeah.
that she didn't think that it was possible to happen. So she put that wall up. But little did she know, he was still out there.
Work it out for her.
He worked it out for her. He worked it out for her. Let me say, careful. Let me say this. This is something I just thought about too. Is the wife, our covenant or our agreement, what is set before us is that we respect the husband.
Yes.
Correct? Husbands, you love your wives.
Yes.
Right under in the hierarchy of the home is God, husband, wife, children. Correct? So, and we talked this about before about the extension, right? So the extension from God is first the husband and then the wife.
Yeah.
when we use our mouth to be hurtful to our husbands, to our wives, have we or have we not just hurt God?
We have. Absolutely.
Why did that just hit me just now?
Because somebody needs to hear that.
Why did that just hit me?
Oh, this is all I remember when you said that. Oh, goodness.
Why did that just come to me?
Because, oh my goodness, we are really, oh my goodness.
We hurt him.
Yes. Because
God made man from
image.
dust in his image. And we have not just disrespected.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to pick on us again.
Yeah.
We have not just disrespected our husband,
Yeah.
but we have offended God.
Yes. And even just think about the makeup of, he was made from dust.
Mm-hmm.
He could have picked up some more dust and Eve, here you go. But he decided to take it from man to make woman.
Yeah.
So how are we speaking to our husbands?
Mm-hmm.
And husbands, how are we speaking to our wives? Recklessly.
Recklessly. Okay, so you just said that. So when a husband
Oh my goodness.
hurts his wife with his mouth, he's also hurt himself.
Yes.
Because the woman was made from him,
Yes.
came from that rib. You've injured yourself.
You injured. Oh my goodness.
Not only did you injure yourself, you've offended God as well.
Yes. Because you were made in his image.
Yes.
That mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You suppose. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then you think about how you have something we've all done when we've been hurtful. In a way, we've kind of broken covenant.
Yes. Yes.
Because when you think about your vows, love and to cherish. Are you cherishing your husband? Are you cherishing your wife?
Oh my goodness.
When your communication is like what you said, reckless. I love that word. When it's reckless.
Yes.
Are you cherishing that person when you're doing that?
Them same vows you said before God and everybody else.
Mm.
I will. I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, you're not cherishing
You
that.
are not.
You're not
And you
cherishing
are
them.
literally breaking vows and covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said you were going to do that.
Yes. And you did not do
Oh
it.
my goodness.
You did not do it. We don't have the authority
Yeah.
to be hurtful to people
No.
with this. You remember the first conference, Taming Your Tongue.
Oh my.
We might need to bring that back.
Yes. Yes. Because if there's no checking of it,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to continue to do it.
Yes.
And we're just, what you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
we're not uplifting.
Mm-mm.
We're just tearing down.
We're tearing down.
Yeah.
And we're teaching our children
Oh
this.
man, that part.
And this is why marriage from, what is this, what generation are we in now? Generation Z?
Yeah.
We might have moved back to A, I don't know. But I don't know which one it is, but that's why a lot of the times the concept of marriage is not there, because you see what was done in your household.
And you, oh my God.
And
you
now
just regret it so much.
you regret it, but now that generational curse will continue if you do not break the cycle now.
And that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta be willing to clean out those old ways,
Mhm.
that wrong information, to do that, to
Yeah.
break that curse.
Mhm.
If not, it's just a repetitive
Yeah.
circle of people getting married, just to be married,
Mhm.
disregarding the importance of that covenant that
Mhm.
we're making, not with just each other, but with God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it just goes on and on and on, and it just does not
Oh
stop.
my goodness.
But what really just got to me just this evening is just, it had to be the Holy Spirit that hit me with that one, because that offense,
Mm.
knowing that I have offended God,
Jesus.
that hurts me.
Yeah.
That genuinely hurts my heart,
Yeah.
because I don't know how to communicate.
And not only not, I don't even want to learn how.
Don't even want to. Some people are okay with that.
Mm.
The word says, and don't let corrupt communication come out of your mouth.
Mm.
Language.
Mm.
That's another. Your language.
Yes.
This is something that my husband and I established when we first met each other. And so we thought we were going to get through this
Yeah,
with part 3,
4.
but we are going to pause here
Yeah.
with part 3, and we are going to resume with part 4 of this relationship series and dealing with communication. Please, please, please like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you're able to get those notifications. Drop us some comments, let us know what you think, and we will see you again next week with part 4, which should be our final one for this one. So thank you for tuning in.